Hi there fabric jugglers, it's Babs here from Fiery Phoenix, and today I'll be talking to you about two things. Firstly, I'll be showing you how to work with a kit to add grommets to your garments, eyelets for the lace-up backs of bustiers or for waistcoats, and I will also, very excitingly, be letting you know who has won each of the 4 items that I was giving away. I had a fabulous response to that, which was very exciting and very pleasing to see. I didn't have to be despairing at all. I did get lots and lots of comments and likes, which was fab. Thank you very much, everyone. And I will put the details of the winners at the end of this this tutorial. So please get in touch with me if you're one of the lucky ones, and let's get cracking with putting in some eyelets. So this is what you actually need to to insert your eyelets. The kit that you purchase is eyelets or grommet kit, and it will generally come with the top of the eyelet, which is quite a narrow piece. You have the base of the eyelet, which looks like a top hat with no top, and then you have the die and another die. So you have a base that you're going to be whacking with your hammer, and you have the actual control piece that pushes everything through, either for cutting or for then compressing the two parts of the eyelets together. And the most important piece of equipment is, of course, your nice sturdy hammer. Not forgetting, of course, a piece of wood. Now I've got a nice, really chunky, it's about 1 inch thick oak board that I use for this, because I don't want to be damaging my table or work surface, so I use this, because you will be giving this a fairly hefty whack when you're cutting through the fabric, and then when you're actually attaching the 2 eyelet pieces together. So what I'll do is I'll walk you through the process quite simply a couple of times, and then hopefully you'll be able to follow along for yourself in your own projects. Now this is a toile that I was working on. If you follow my page, you will have seen that, and in here we have an eyelet that I've previously attached. One of the things you need to remember when working with eyelets or grommets is that you will need to have a reinforced piece of fabric to actually insert them into, or else it will just rip and tear away if it's just a single layer. Now for this pattern, it's actually got reinforcement on the back, but that's really chunky. It quite happily works with, I think it's about 6 or 7 layers of fabric that I've actually got here. No interfacing, but the fabric has been folded over like a bias binding to be attached at the back here. So that's an awful lot of fabric, and it's still managed to go through that quite happily, and you just need to have a good sturdy use of the hammer for that. But I'm not going to go through 6 or 7 layers for this demonstration. I want to try and keep it as simple as possible, although it is worth mentioning that you do need to use reinforced. So I'm not going to use a single layer for this demonstration, but I will use the collar, which will go through a couple of layers of fabric, so that at least will give an indication of how it would go through. And what you need to do is mark off where you want your grommets to be. So I'll put 2 or 3 in, and you just need to make a mark. It doesn't matter whether you use a fabric marker or a regular pen. I've just used a regular handwriting pen, a regular pen for this example, because you'll be cutting those pieces of fabric away. So you pop. So before we start cutting, one of the things you need to be aware of, I'll just take away some of the previously cut fabric from that. We don't want that because I can't show you then. Right, you have a flat side, and then you have a shaped side. Now the shaped side you use to seat the top hat piece, and the flat side you use when you're actually cutting out the hole. So you place that down, you centre your mark. Let's see if we can get this a bit closer so you can see that. This is quite tricky. So we have a black mark here, which is going to be centred in the hole. And then you take the top piece, and as you can see, there's this sort of dimple pimple. Dimple would go in. So this is the pimple, and you push that through into the hole. So you've got one, let's see if we can actually show that, locking in to the other, and that is what will cut the fabric away. So we're going to place that underneath, make sure that we've got the circle in the centre, or the dot in the centre. Make sure that the pimple has been quite happily housed. Move this back a bit, and now I apologise for the noise, but I'm going to hit it about 3 or 4 times. And then that has cut away, hopefully you can see that, that has then cut away a hole in the fabric, quite a neat little hole. And the remainder of the fabric is actually inside there. So I'll just quickly go through and do the other 2. There we go. And don't forget that you can poke out the little pieces of fabric that you've used that have been cut away. I don't know of any use for these, so they will go in the scrap bin. If anybody has any suggestions of reusing those teeny tiny little scraplets, then please drop me a message and let me know. Now the next part that becomes confusing is working out which way up to use the grommets. It's fairly obvious in the case of the top hat version. The top hat just sits quite happily in its little hole, and then you need to know which way up to use the grommets. Now you actually want the lip to be sticking up. So I will take some photographs so that you can see which is correct and which is incorrect. And the fabric needs to sit over the top of the top hat, and then you drop the grommet in over the top, and then you place, has my top hat moved? Yes. And you place the top piece back over, and you give it a good solid whack again, making sure everything's actually where it's supposed to be. And there you have one inserted eyelet. And it really is fairly straightforward and simple to do. So I'll just quickly do the other 2. Make sure that you insert the top hat through for the base piece. Settle it into the holder underneath. The neck should be pointing up on the top piece, and then pop that on top, and there you have it, a second eyelet. I'm going to see if I can actually get the camera close enough that we can see it without it jumping around as I hammer. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so we've got a slightly different angle, and I'm going to do my best to keep my hand out of the way for you. So here you can see the hole that we've already cut, and here is the little top hat piece. So we will insert that through the hole, and then we will place the top grommet with the rim pointing up over the top. That then needs to go into the base holder. You can see that. I'm not sure that that's particularly clear. And then we put the pimple into the top piece, and very carefully, and make sure that I don't whack my own hand. Now this one I've done in the reverse to the others, but it is still a grommet that's in place. So that's another tip that I didn't realise I needed to tell you, which is that you need to make sure that you insert these the same way round. And obviously one of these is slightly rougher and one of them is slightly smoother. So if you are having these grommets against the skin, go for the smoother version on the inside of the skin, or near the skin, rather than the rougher version. And I think that's about it. Let's see if we can just show you how to cut the hole one last time. So you would take the flat side of the supporting piece, pop a mark where you want to cut out, place that over the hole, place that on top, and you find the hole. There we go. And then just give that a good whack. And then that will cut through a nice clean hole for you. And I think that's... So now that you've seen how simple it is to insert the grommets, it's time for the fun stuff, yay! Which is the announcement of the winners of the giveaway. So if I go through the list, I've got it written down here in case I start dipping my head down, you don't really know what's going on. And we have the messenger bag, which will be going to Diane Cross. We have Oh So Sweet Platty, which will be going to the lovely Mer Scott. We have the drawstring kit bag, which will be going to Terry Blackett. And we have, last but not least, as I found it, the backpack, which will be going out to Trudy Williams. So if all of you lovely ladies could get in touch with me and let me know your contact details and the addresses that you want these sent to, and I will get them shipped out to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And I hope that these videos continue to be useful to you and continue to inspire you to create your own fabric creations. If that's the case, then please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that malarkey. And just a reminder, I update on a Tuesday and a Thursday each week with new tutorials. If you've got any suggestions for topics you want covered, please pop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to get them added onto the schedule. Speak to you soon. Bye.